Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy, Nick, and I am back again. Yes, that's right, back again. It's a Monday night, and I know we don't usually bring you shows on Monday night. We were just live yesterday with our giveaway, which you still have chance for, guys. So make sure you go back and like that last video. Make sure you watch the video on the instructions, as well as follow the instructions for your chance to win. Those 2 tickets were given away to Pier 35 for the 49ers Draft Live Party. You don't want to go out there and, miss sourdough Sam or anything, go take your ass out there. But follow that, and they're free tickets. So what else can you get better for? But before I introduce my guests, we're going to do a mock draft tonight, 2.3 series. You guys know what it is. Yeah, it's an early show. Eric, Jonathan, what's going on? Poppy Pablo, what's going on? We're doing an early show, yes, but that is because I got my boy Marcus on. And before I get to introducing him, let me go through all the formalities. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Snapchat, nothing but 9, ERS. That's the number 9. Instagram and Facebook at Nothing But Niners, all spelled out. Check us out on the World Wide Web, nothingbutniners.com, as well as check out our SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play. You know, we are everywhere you want to be. Any type of podcast app you listen to, just type in NB9ERS or NBN, Nothing But Niners, whatever you want to type. Make sure you leave it a 5-star review if you want to, and leave a comment, guys. That helps us out as well. So tonight we're going to do a 2.3 draft, and I may do another one later on tonight. But then we will be wrapping up the drafts, the mock drafts, because, guys, it's only, we got 3 days left till the NFL draft. Thank God. So anyway, without further ado, let me introduce you to my boy Marcus. I've known Marcus a long time. Huge Niner fan, also from New Jersey as well. But what's going on, Marcus?
Not much, man. I'm chilling. Happy to be here with you tonight.
Yeah, man. So like I explained to everybody, we're going to do a mock draft tonight. You already know that. We'll go over, I've already explained to you how we're going to do that and stuff, but tell the faithful a little bit about yourself.
Marcus Mosley. I live in New Jersey. Like Nick said, known him for a long time. Met through mutual friends and obviously our love for the Niners. I grew up watching football. Actually, it wasn't my dad. It wasn't an older brother. The person who got me into football the most was my grandma. She's a huge football fan. I was glad, but I was glad that the Eagles won the Super Bowl. She's a huge Eagles fan, and they had never won a Super Bowl in her lifetime. So I'm glad she was able to see that and enjoy that. But that's who I got my love of football from. We used to watch Monday night games together. That's how I got to stay up late at night. And one night we were watching football and the Niners were on. And all I remember is number 80 in a red and gold jersey, catching every pass, scoring all the touchdowns. And at that moment, I knew I wanted to be like him. I wanted to do what he did. Obviously, I kind of plumped up a little bit, so I'm not in a wide receiver's body, but I got a wide receiver's mind. And that just sparked my love for the Niners ever since then. That was at the age of, I want to say 5 or 6. Ever since then, I've been Niners all my life.
Sweet, sweet. Yeah, man, it's always good to hear other faithfuls way how they got the love for the game or the love for the Niners, and I enjoy you saying that. And that's awesome that your grandmother got to see a championship or a Super Bowl, because a lot of people go without not ever seeing one. So that's special. And, I'm up here too as well in Birdland or Eagle Nation, whatever you want to call them. But, it's rough for us because we take a lot of slack. But obviously, you know how I am. I always talk shit, and it is what it is. So have you done any mock drafts anymore? Let me ask you, actually, I know you've done some mock drafts, but let me ask you this question. Do you think that Kyler Murray is truly going to go number 1 overall?
I sit at home on my days off. Today was one of those days. And I'm always on Fox Sports 1 and ESPN. And apparently there have been rumors that's going out that now they're not going to take Kyler Murray. One of the analysts, Joel Klatt, he was saying that he believes it's just a smoke screen. They're trying to up the value of Josh Rosen as much as they can in these next couple of days before the draft really gets here and his stock plummets. So you don't know. I think that's the intrigue of the draft. Obviously, as a Niner fan, with us being right there at 2, that kind of, worries us a little bit because what if they take our guy? But I think being at 2, it gives us a ton of options. There's not this one guy who we need. It's not like we're both fighting for quarterbacks. We have our quarterback. We have other needs on the team. So being at 2 gives us the option to, if Arizona doesn't take Kyler, then maybe we can, find somebody who's willing to come up. Maybe John Gruden wants to give us, that fourth and maybe one of those late first round picks so he can move up to 2 so he can ensure he gets them. Or maybe another team comes with a package. So it puts us in the driver's seat being at 2. So I think they will take him because he is Cliff Kingsbury's guy. But that's yet to be seen.
Yeah, I agree. I was watching NFL Network today, and that report came out that, they're saying that they're going to stick with Rosen. And, right now you can't really believe anything. And the overall, it's kind of aggravating to me. I'm kind of getting over it now. It's just like, is Kyler Murray going to go number 1? No, Kyler Murray's not going to go to number 1. But I think if Kyler Murray doesn't go number 1, that truly helps us. And we still have another position, Quinnen Williams, we could probably take there. I don't want to take a Josh Allen that high. I've spoke on that on my show a ton of times, but you get that opportunity and you're, like you said, we're in the driver's seat. So if I'm not trading anything out of that number 2 pick other than 2 first-round picks this year and possibly, with points wise, probably like a third or a fourth in there as well. But we never know. And like I said, we've got 3 days to find out, and I'm super excited. I can't wait. Guys, make sure you do check us out on our live stream that night. For Thursday night, we'll be live with a bunch of our panels. Our panel will be live. A bunch of our hosts, a lot of our writers will be jumping in and on, probably invite some fans on here and there. So make sure you check us out. We will be live the entire first, second, third, all the way through the entire draft. So make sure you check us out. Like I said, hit that like and subscribe button. All right, Marcus, are you ready, man? I'm ready to see what you get to do here.
I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
All right, guys. I'm gonna put the camera here on Marcus while I go and share real quick, and let's bring it up. It's gonna say, "What?" Let me come back to this real quick. I forgot to hit back on me. All right, there we go. Oh, wrong one. Sorry, guys. All right, can you see that good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Making sure, let me just make sure the camera is staying on me, which it is, which is good. All right. So obviously we are drafting for the San Francisco 49ers, guys. I will not be doing any of the drafting. I will just be clicking. You know how this works. Marcus will be doing all the picks. So Marcus, if you need that a little bit bigger, just let me know. I can go a little bit bigger there. Is that good?
You can go back if you need to.
Go back? Okay.
Yeah, I was good on the other setting. If
all right,
the fans need it bigger, you can leave it, but that's perfect.
All right, so the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock. I'm going to go ahead and press continue. Now why did it take me out of that? All right, here we go. With first pick, guys, this drives me nuts because you have to keep scrolling every time you click one button. I hate it on the computer, but all right, here we go. All right. So it looks like the Cardinals did take Kyler Murray, quarterback out of Oklahoma, and it looks like you have some trades on the block there. So Bosa still sits there, Williams is still there, Allen is still there, but it looks like Green Bay is probably your best pick or best trade, which is a 2020 round 1 pick 12 and pick 30. Any of those trades suit you, or do you know where you want to go with this pick?
That Green Bay trade looks really, really good because that's 3 first-round picks. But if we're being realistic, Green Bay's not going to give up 3 first-round picks to go up to number 2, only because I don't think that there's anybody they need at number 2 for them to mortgage their future like that. If you know Green Bay, their history is to draft and develop. So giving up all those picks, I don't think that's something that they'll do. So in the spirit of being realistic, I think we're going to pass on these trades here. Don't like the trade from Denver. Don't like the trade from Detroit or Cincinnati to move back to 8 or 11. And with Kyler Murray off the board, our guy is there. So with the second pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, our San Francisco 49ers take Nick Bosa, defensive end, Ohio State University.
All right. My guy. We are going to go down, and I hate first pick, like I said. And there's Nick Bosa. We are going to select him, and we are going to draft him with the number 2 overall pick in the 2019 draft. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus takes defensive end Nick Bosa out of the Ohio State. All right. So are you gonna want to move back into the first round, or do you want me to skip to our picks, skip 5 picks? What would you like me to do here?
Skip 5 picks because I want to see who's off the board. Depending on the way the draft goes, I may want to jump back into the first round. But let's see what happens here. So at 3, we got Montez Sweat to the Giants. It looks like they move up. Quinnen goes 4 to Oakland. Tampa Bay takes offensive tackle Jaquan Taylor. The Jets at 3, not the Giants. Giants at 6 take Devin Bush. Ooh, that's different, especially with Devin White still on the board. And then Jacksonville takes Jonah Williams. Okay, you can go to the next 5.
All right, let's skip the next 5.
All right, Josh Allen's off the board at 8. Caleb McGarry at 9. That's a new name I'm seeing in the top 10. Denver takes Haskins at 10, which I think will actually be Drew Lock. Cincinnati takes Ed Oliver, and Green Bay lucks out and gets Devin White at 12, which I don't think he'll be there. All right, we can go next 5.
All right. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy that Haskins drops to 10 and Devin White drops to 12. Bush has been getting a lot of love though this last week.
No, yeah, he's definitely good, but he's not going to go before Devin White.
Right.
I don't see that happening before Devin White. Haskins sliding, possibly, because yes, he has all the tools. He had a great season. But as Colin Cowherd has been saying for the past couple of weeks, his numbers are skewed a little bit because he basically had a track team. If you look at all the guys, the wide receivers at Ohio State that he was thrown to, all those guys ran 4.3 or better or 4.4 or better at the combine. So all you have to do is give it to those guys in space and let them work. But he is a traditional pocket QB. He's got the size, he's got the arm, but you never know, especially when it comes to quarterback. You never know. So Haskins sliding, I'm not too concerned about because that actually might happen. But if we jump back into here to these 5 picks, Garrett Bradbury, who has been getting a lot of love, I don't see him going at 13 to Miami with the new regime there, but he could go as high as in the teens. Cleveland Farrell to Atlanta, that makes sense. Cody Ford to Minnesota, they need offensive line help bad, that makes sense. Brian Burns to Carolina, that makes a lot of sense. If Cleveland Farrell is not on the board, he's the next best guy for them. And then Houston, who also needs O-line help, gets Andre Dillard. I think from the first couple of picks, I think this group of 5 is the most spot on so far.
All right. Want to skip to the next 5?
Yes, please.
All righty. Let's see. Looks like the Ravens ended up taking Hawkinson.
Ooh. Okay, Drew Lock to Washington. That makes a ton of sense because Alex Smith won't be back. DK Metcalf, a.k.a. Batman, human Batman suit. He goes to Tennessee. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to Pittsburgh, although I think that'll be a corner. Ooh, Rashawn Gary to the Seahawks. He fits that system. And that's a great pick, especially if they trade Frank Clark. They can basically move on from Frank Clark and get a younger, cheaper guy who probably has a higher ceiling. So that's good. That might be somebody we have to watch out for. And then Baltimore, like you said, takes Hawkinson, give Lamar Jackson somebody to work the middle of the field. So from this point, from what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling, I don't see a point for us to trade up just yet. And with who's coming up, I think my guy might be there, but we'll see. So let's skip to the next 5. Actually, no. We're at 22.
Yeah.
Do one at a time.
Do one at a time. All right.
Yeah, do one at a time.
So, Byron Murphy.
Okay.
Raiders are on the clock. And actually, it looks like they traded the pick to the Chargers. So now the Chargers receive pick 28. Or Oakland receives pick 28. Round 2, pick 28, and the Chargers receive round 1, pick 24. So they're on the clock now. Changes things up a little bit, which they took. Looks like they took a defensive tackle, Christian Wilkins, out of Clemson.
That makes a lot of sense for them. They have the bookends already. Joey Bosa, the brother of our first round draft pick, Nick. And then they have what is his name? The guy on the other side of him. It's right there. It's off the tip. Melvin Ingram. That's it.
Yeah, Ingram.
Melvin Ingram. So they have their bookends. They have their pass rushers. And now they need the interior guy. Christian Wilkins steps in, takes over. Corey Legit had that spot in Los Angeles. A couple other defensive tackles had that spot. But Christian Wilkins steps in. He's a day one starter. And he fortifies that interior defensive line for them. So I think that's a good pick.
Yeah, that is a good pick. And a good pick to trade up 3 spots. So
absolutely
not bad. All right, we'll continue on. The Eagles are on the clock. And look at Josh Jacobs falling to him.
Now, this has been mocked in a lot of mocks. I always go online and look at a lot of mocks. This has been mocked to them, Josh Jacobs. I don't know if they stay true to this. If you would have asked me this before they signed Jordan Howard, I would have said absolutely they need a running back. They need somebody who they can hand the ball off to. But I think they like the guys that they have there. I think they like Corey Clement. He's not a 3-down back or a starter as most people would view, but I think they like what he brings to the offense. And then you add somebody like Jordan Howard, who can be your 3-down back, or at least your bell cow on first and second down. If you need to bring in Clement on passing downs, you can. So I don't know if they go Josh Jacobs here with the acquisition of Jordan Howard, but if they didn't, this would be a great pick.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so the Colts are on the clock, and they are going to take Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle, the other defensive tackle from Clemson, coming out
This makes me feel really good. Now, this is a good pick for them, but this was the one team that I was worried about taking my guy. And I guess to give you a bit of foresight, as Niner fans, as you guys all are, I think are the need areas of our team. And I think I'm on board with most of the people like us who are mocking for us and that we need receiver. And a lot of mocks that I've seen, Indianapolis has gone receiver in the first round. I don't necessarily think they need to do that. They have T.Y. Hilton, who is arguably a top 10, top 15 wide receiver in the league. They added Devin Funchess, who can be their red zone guy, their red zone target. He's big, he's strong, he's physical. He can get first downs when needed. So I don't necessarily think they need to go here. They also have who's the tight end that they have from Detroit? I forget his name.
It's like right on the tip of my tongue.
I got it. Eric
Ebron. Ebron. Yeah.
So he didn't work out in Detroit, but he goes to Indianapolis and he has a breakout season. So I think they have 3 weapons that Andrew Luck can use in Ty, in Eric Ebron, in Devin Funchess, where I don't think they need to go wide receiver here. And that, in my thought process, if I'm a GM, that's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on that they already have 3 solid guys at the pass catcher positions, that they won't go a pass catcher in this draft. If I was looking to trade up, it would be above Indianapolis, so they don't take my guy. But sometimes standing pat is a good idea so that we don't waste draft picks, because we don't have that many as it is. So this makes me really happy right here.
All right. Let's just go. Raiders are on the clock, so we're just going to continue. It looks like they took the other tight end out of Iowa, Noah Fant.
That's huge for them.
That's really
huge for them. Because they lost Jared Cook, so they replaced Jared Cook with another athletic tight end who can work the middle of the field. That's a good pick.
Really good pick. All right, and then the Raiders are back on the clock again, back to back. So I'm thinking they're going to take another receiver here, but we'll see. Oh, they took a running back, Damian Harris, out of Alabama.
They need that. Now that might be a little rich. I think if the Eagles don't go Josh Jacobs because they have the running backs, then in the scenario where Oakland doesn't trade, they still have 3 first-round picks. I think that third first-round pick is going to be Josh Jacobs if the Eagles don't take him. But since the Eagles did take him in this scenario, they do need a running back. We don't know Marshawn Lynch's status, and even last year he wasn't himself. So they need somebody younger, somebody who can carry the load. So this is a good pick for what they're trying to do with their offense.
Right. All right. And then, all right, so you want to keep going, continue here to see if you're going to trade back in? Or what are you thinking?
Now, the other team that might take a pass catcher is Green Bay. But with who's still left on the board at the wide receiver position, I'm comfortable with taking either one of them. So let's go one by one here.
One by one. All right. DeAndre Walker, outside linebacker, defensive end from Georgia at 29. That's for the Chiefs. 30 is Green Bay Packers on the clock. Let's see who they take here. They actually took a safety.
Wow. Okay.
So, look at that.
That might be a little rich, not for the player, but just for the position, because they drafted 2 corners last year, and then they also drafted Josh Jones, he's a developmental, but he's a solid prospect that they drafted. So getting Adderley, maybe to complete that, moving Josh Jones over to strong safety, putting Adderley at free. And then with Jair Alexander and the kid from Iowa they drafted last year on the outsides. But I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
All right. And we got 2 picks left in the first round. And the Rams took defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. And the Patriots are last on the clock, which I would have thought they would have. Huh?
Hold on here. Now just scroll up for me here.
Scroll up.
Yeah. Okay. So here's where we're running into an issue. Here's where I might trade up, just to make sure that I get the guy that I want. Because Arizona took Kyler 1, and then they have the first pick in the second round. And here's where I could see a run on receiver. So Fitz is getting up in age. I think they lost John Brown, so they could add a receiver to help out Kyler. They mocked Indy a wide receiver in the first round. They go defense, and then they could come back in the second round and get a receiver. Oakland's revamping their offense, and they could go receiver here as well. So the 3 guys who I'm thinking of could go 1, 2, 3 in the third round, which would suck for us. So, in the spirit of this mock draft, let's see what the Patriots want for the 32nd pick in the first round.
All right, so we're going to propose a trade. Move back in. All right, so you just tell me what New England's going to get, and obviously you're going to get pick round 1, pick 32.
So they'll get round 2, pick 4.
Okay.
And give them, that's not that big of a jump. Give them round 6, pick 3.
Round 6, pick 3. All right. I'm kind of anxious to see who you're going to take here if they take it. All right. They did not take it, and they ended up taking Daniel Jones, quarterback from Duke.
Okay.
So now you have Arizona on the clock.
Okay. They didn't take the offer, and I'm cool with that. I think giving them a 4th round to move up 4 spots, I think that's a little too rich. So in the spirit of not ripping the Band-Aid off, so just getting the Band-Aid off, just skip to my pick.
All right.
We won't do this one by one. We'll just rip the Band-Aid off real quick and let's see who they took.
Ooh.
Okay, so Oakland takes Jalen Ferguson.
Yep.
Indianapolis takes Marquise Brown. So that's one of the receivers off the board. And then Arizona takes Dalton Risner.
Yep.
Which makes a lot of sense. They drafted Kyler. Now they need offensive line help because their offensive line was bad. But this puts us in a great position because now two of the guys who are looking at are on the board. And then this is where it gets tough because you look at the evaluation and you look at who do you want and who can be the most impactful in your offense. So if you go to wide receiver, I'll mention the two names. And both of these guys recently had visits with us. First guy, number one name on the list is A.J. Brown.
Yep.
The next guy is wide receiver out at Arizona State, N'Keal Harry. So this is where I'm in a dilemma because you don't want to make the wrong pick and pick the wrong guy. A.J. Brown, he gives versatility because he can play outside and inside, but so can N'Keal Harry. Personally, I like the bigger receivers. I like somebody who can be a big body and box out some of the smaller corners. Plus, we know that Seattle in our division, they like the bigger corners. So we don't want a smaller guy who can get beat up by those bigger corners. Arizona still has Patrick Peterson, who's still a technician at 6'2", also one of the bigger corners. I'm leaning more towards N'Keal Harry, but A.J. Brown just got the endorsement from Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice let him wear the rings. So I don't know. This is tough.
Yeah, I think, in my personal opinion, I think A.J. Brown is probably the most well-rounded receiver in this draft. But, I mean, he's lacking a little bit on height compared to N'Keal Harry. It really depends on what you're looking for. I think Harry's a little bit faster. But for me, I think A.J. Brown has better hands, more consistent hands than Harry does. But I'm not trying to push you one way or another. I'm just trying to give you my input. So it's totally on you. You got two guys sitting there. You got two guys sitting there that you like. It's just a matter of, like you said, making that right pick.
I love them both. And I've been talking to our good buddy, Joseph Howard. Shout out to Joe. That's OG right there. I've been talking to him, and even just looking at this board right here of the available wide receivers, this draft is littered with wide receivers. And I've been telling Joe, I was like, if we can just come away with one of these guys, I'll be happy. But he's been saying, he said, forget that. As deep as this wide receiver class is, we can come away with two of these guys possibly. And I wouldn't be upset at that either. But I think in the spirit of what we need, in the spirit of our offense, and I think with how multiple Kyle Shanahan likes to be, and he likes guys who can move around, I think I'm going to have to go AJ. He got the endorsement from Jerry, so we're going to go AJ Brown, wide receiver, Ole Miss.
Final answer.
Final answer. I love N'Keal Harry. I love N'Keal Harry. He's probably my favorite wide receiver in this draft. But I just think for what our team likes, I'm going to go with AJ Brown.
All right, AJ Brown is the pick.
I feel so bad. I hope N'Keal doesn't watch this. And if we somehow draft, if he watches this and then we draft N'Keal, I'm probably never going to hear the end of it. Whenever I go to the games and be like, "Yo, N'Keal, what's up?" He's gonna be like, "Nah, you didn't pick me.
You didn't pick me. I saw your mock draft. I saw your mock draft for nothing but Niners." And hopefully we'll be able to get some of our draft picks on this year, so that'll be good too. All right, so what do you want to do here? You want to skip fives? It's gonna be
let's just go to our next pick.
All right, skip to our next pick, and we're gonna go to round 3. And look at that, Deebo Samuel just came off the clock right before us. All right, so we are round 3, pick 3, and you got a bunch of trades here. So Cincinnati wants to offer you round 3, pick 8, round 4, pick 8, round 5, pick 11, which we don't have. So you're getting a second round 4 pick, moving down 5 spots, and an additional 5th round pick. Washington is round 3, pick 12, round 3, pick 32, which is a comp. So that would give you 2 third-round picks. And then it looks like Jacksonville is probably another good one. Round 3, pick 3, 4, round 3, pick 5, and round 4, pick 7. And Tampa Bay wants you to move down 3 spots to pick 6 in round 3 and also give you round 4, pick 5. Any of those look good to you, or you want to stay put of where you're at?
I like that pick. The offer from Cincinnati gives us a third, only a couple spots back, 5 spots back. Gives us a fourth and gives us a fifth that we don't have. Before we make a trade, though, let's see what let's see what's on the board at the corner position.
Oh, corner. All right, let me go back to that. Sorry, I hit best value. All right, change position. And cornerback. Guy I really like in this draft, who I think is a later round picks. My guy right there out of Kentucky, Jaquan Johnson. I think he's going to be a sleeper. They're your best corners that you have on the board.
Ooh, okay. So Lonnie's there, Jaquan's there, Jamil Dean is there. And then show me what's available at safety.
All right, going to go to safety. Free or strong? Just got to clarify.
Go free.
All right, let's go to free. Oh, my man's still there too.
Ooh. Couple guys still there. One guy who we're tied to, 2 other guys who are really good. Okay. So we have a lot of options. I think gaining more draft picks is beneficial to us. So let's accept that trade from Cincinnati.
All right. Let's change position to get back to the trades. And we are going to move down 5 spots, but we're going to pick up round 4, pick 8, and round 5, pick 11. Final answer.
Final answer. Let's do it.
All righty. You just want me to skip to our pick, or you want to see what comes off the board?
Nope, skip to our pick because we should still be able to see what the last 5 were.
Yeah. And the last 5 look like Dieter, McLaurin. Wow, that's high for him. Caden Smith, Mac Wilson, and Jay Sternberger.
Perfect. Now we're in a dilemma. Do we want a corner or do we want the safety?
With you talking about that, John Lynch just came out and said that Jimmy Ward will be the starting safety this year going into the season.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, I just want to bring that to our fans. John Lynch literally just came out and re-clarified that Jimmy Ward will be the starting free safety for the San Francisco 49ers in 2019. Just so everybody knows.
Can you answer this question for me?
I can try.
What is it that we see in him?
I don't think
other than versatility, because he can play free, he can play strong, he can play nickel. Other than just him being versatile and him being able to play multiple positions, what is it that we see to keep him on this team and even to declare him as a starter?
Well, you also forgot that there's a part that we see that he can't stay healthy. But no, being all truthful, I don't know what it is, but this guy has stuck around through 3 different coaches and is still here. Obviously, there is some kind of talent there. I think he definitely does play better at safety than he does at corner, or he did ball out his rookie year as a nickel, other than that one game against Chicago. But other than that, he did ball out. he started to play what he was playing pretty well at free safety this year, obviously till he went down again. But the problem with me is, like I always say on my show, guys, the best availability is or best ability is availability, and Jimmy Ward doesn't have that. I don't want to give up on Adrian Colbert yet because I think he just had some mind.
That's my guy.
Yeah, he had just some mind issues. He balled out his first couple games. And I think it was more of a mind thing, not studying route recognitions and things like that, that kind of stalled him, plus a hampering injury that continued to hamper, obviously putting him on the IR as well. But I'm not sure. I can't answer that question for you because I truly have dug deep down inside trying to figure out the same exact question as to what do the 49ers or any of these coaches or any of these teams see other than versatility. You picked up his option last year at $8.5 million a year, got hurt. Obviously, you wanted him to play. He even went into the season as a non-starter, and you picked up that option for $8.5 million. You now move into 2019. You re-sign him for $3.95 million for a one-year deal, kind of a prove-it deal, which I don't understand why, because he's had crazy amounts of time to prove himself. Marcus, I can honestly say I cannot answer your question because I have absolutely no clue.
I mean, nothing against the guy personally, because obviously I don't know him, hasn't met him, but I don't see what he offers to the team other than versatility. But even with the versatility, playing him at different spots, I think is one of the things that's hampering him, because it's playing free safety, playing boundary corner, playing inside corner at the nickel. Those are three totally different positions. There are different things that you have to look for. There are different movements that you make physically with your body. Instincts play a part differently in each one of those roles. So him bouncing from each one, yes, as an athlete, he can physically do it, but we all know that football is as much of a mental game as it is a physical game. We've seen some of the biggest, strongest, fastest guys not being able to make a team, not lasting in the league past 2 or 3 years because they don't have the mental aspect. And again, nothing against him personally, not saying that he's stupid or he can't pick it up. But I don't think he offers much as far as the instincts and the ball skills that everybody is so high on about him. It hasn't translated in interceptions. It hasn't translated into forced fumbles. It hasn't translated into PBUs. And then you add on to the fact that he hasn't been on the field in order to prove it. I love Adrian Colbert. You had Adrian Colbert on the show last year, I believe. I love his instincts. I love his speed, his range, his ability to play sideline to sideline. I think he has great instincts. I think when he sees it, he trusts it. I do think last year he kind of did have a mental lapse. I think all of our rookies did. I think they came in as rookies because our team was still in the construction phase, that a lot of those guys did start and did have to play early. And we had a lot of rookies contribute. And I think it was good for them because they're just coming in and they're just balling out like, I'm in the NFL. Oh, I get to play. I don't have a veteran in front of me. Oh, I'm a ball. And they all balled. And then that they all kind of hit that sophomore slump a little bit. That second year, I don't know if it was, oh, I'm the man now. Like, I'm here. I had a great year last year. Oh, this is going to be a breeze. Or if it was just a mental, like, okay, how do I outdo what I did last year? And then you run into those walls trying and kind of forcing it. But I like Adrian Colbert. I like Jaquan Tart, but I think he's another one. When Tart's on the field, the kid is awesome. He's in the box. He's a willing tackler. I think not last year, but the year before, I think the play in the first game, Cam tried to beat him on a deep ball, and he had the one hand Odell grab for the interception. So he has good ball skills, but he also has, the little nagging injuries here or there, and he's yet to play, I think, a full 16-game season. But I love what he brings if he can stay healthy. I love him. If Colbert can stay healthy, I love him. I even like the young guy we drafted last year.
DJ Reed?
Not DJ Reed, the other one.
Tavarius Moore?
No, from Florida.
Oh, Harris.
Yes.
Yeah, Marcel Harris.
Marcel Harris. I love his game. I was again talking to Joe. The game that stood out for me for Marcel Harris last year was the Bronco game. The way he played in that game, the way he came up into the box and made hits, the way he made tackles in space against Philip Lindsay when they were trying to get him, the ball in the space and see if he can make some moves. I love him also. So I think we have guys to stay with Jimmy Ward. I don't get it. I don't get it. But not to linger on that too long.
Let me. I'm going to rephrase what I said. It just so the statement that came out said that he will be playing free safety. So I messed that up and I thought it said starting. So, but he will be playing in the free safety position. Whether he'll be starting or just playing in that position is to be seen. So,
okay, all right, that's different. So that means his position next season will be free safety. No boundary corner, no nickel corner. His position will be free safety, and hopefully there's the mantra that he's got to go earn it.
Yeah.
If he earns it, he earns it.
Right.
So at this pick, I think we go corner. I do like our corners. I think also when you talk about somebody hitting a sophomore slump, Akello Witherspoon had that. So I think we do need depth. Sherman is getting a little bit older, although they said he only played at 80% last year. He wasn't fully healthy. He only played at about 80%. But I think since we're mirroring that Seattle type defense, this guy has been getting a lot of love, and a lot of people think that he's going to be a sleeper in this draft. So let's go Jaquan Williams, cornerback from Vanderbilt.
All right. Jaquan Williams cornerback from Vanderbilt. One of our old coaches coach over there now. Tarver coaches Vanderbilt. I think he's a defensive coordinator for Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. So we are not picking until round 4, which will be pick 2 and pick 8. And what would you like to do here, sir?
Let's just go right to our next pick.
All right. Skipping to our pick. Here we go. I'll look at the trades, let you look at them, see what you think, see if there's anything in there that you want to do.
No, we're going to stay put.
All right. And what position are you thinking? Or best value, whichever.
Go to best. Let's see what's on best value.
All right. Best value remaining. All right. Looks like you got my boy Benny Snell there. Obviously, we're not taking no running backs, but I love Benny Snell. I think he's being overlooked a ton. Jaquai Polite still on the board. Obviously, we took Nick Bosa, so you don't really need him. Any specific position you're looking for?
I do see a safety there. I see Jaquan Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
He's been getting a lot of burn. So if we want to shore up that defense in that back end, bring in some more competition, he would be somebody who we look at. I think Jaquai Polite falling is from his combine. He didn't really have a good combine from what everybody heard. And a lot of people were trying to say that he was bashing the 49ers based off the kind of questions that we're asking. But when I looked at the interview in context, I don't think he was bashing us. I don't think what he was saying about the 49ers was negative at all. I think he was just saying, they were asking the type of questions that you would expect at the combine. They were grilling me. They were, really trying to pick my brain about my mistakes, why I did this, why I thought that way. I don't think he was hurt by it at all. I don't think he was salty, as they would say. I think he was just being honest about the questions that he received. So I think the media kind of took that out of context. So adding another guy like him would be good, but we have D4. We just added Nick Bosa. We still have Eric Armstead on the roster. We still have Solomon Thomas on the roster. I think our defensive line is set with his speed. We can't convert him to linebacker. So I think we're good on that part. I know you said we wouldn't take a running back, but I don't know. I think in Kyle's system, and especially with if you just look at what happened last year and the injuries that we had, obviously McKinnon went down. Breida had the nagging ankle injuries. Jeff Wilson came in and he looked real good in some aspects, but then he had the fumbling issues, and then Mostert broke his forearm. So we had a lot of injuries to our running back group. Obviously, we're getting Mostert back. We're getting Breida back healthy. We're getting McKinnon back healthy, and we added Tevin Coleman, which is, I think, I love Tevin Coleman. I try to get him in all of my Madden franchises because of his speed, because of his size. But watching his game, the kid, he's awesome, and he has experience in Kyle's system. But if you look at another guy who can come in and just be another headache for defensive coordinators, Justice Hill is still on the board. And he's one of those guys in that Jerick McKinnon mold who can run the rock, is not afraid to run in between the tackles. But then he also can catch the ball out of the backfield and can make one move, one cut, and he's gone. So having another guy like that in this offense, especially with the injuries that we experience, I think with Kyle, you can never have enough of those guys. But let's concentrate on the defense. Let's concentrate on getting that squared away. And with a second round grade, getting them in the fourth round, I don't think we can pass on Jaquan Johnson, safety out of Miami.
All right, Jaquan Johnson out of Miami, strong safety. Which I think isn't this year Tart's let? No, he has one more year after this. Next year, I think, is his final year. All right, so far we've taken Nick Bosa, round 1. Round 2, A.J. Brown. Round 3, Joejuan Williams. Round 4, Jaquan Johnson out of Miami, strong safety. So we've gotten strong safety, cornerback, wide receiver, and defensive end. What would you like to do now, Marcus?
Let's get to our next pick because it's only a couple. All right, now let's see who's left at the wide receiver position.
All right, wide receiver position.
Now, this may not be realistic. I'm just doing this in the spirit of OG, Joseph Howard, doing this for him so that we can get multiple wide receivers. And there's still a bunch of good guys on this list. We have Andy Isabella, who's here, Anthony Johnson, who's kind of flying under the radar, A.J. Brown's teammate, DeMarcus Lodge. We got the 2 West Virginia kids, David Sills and Gary Jennings. Me, Cole Hardman from Georgia, Miles Boykin from Notre Dame, who had a great combine. So there's a lot of guys here. If I'm taking a guy based on my evaluations of what I've seen from the wide receiver position and what I think they can bring on the field, I might go a name here that a lot of guys are probably going to shake their heads at, or they may not know much about. But I think 4th round, pick 8, we do add another wide receiver. And I think that wide receiver, I want that wide receiver to be Gary Jennings Jr., wide receiver out of West Virginia.
West Virginia University, Gary Jennings Jr. Final answer.
Final answer. I like his size. We didn't get N'Keal Harry in the 2nd round. But I think we come right back with somebody like Gary Jennings. I like his size. He is. Did my tablet die? I think it did. It had all my information on it. It died. I have to plug that back in. But I believe Gary Jennings is 6'3". He ran a 4.4, low 4.4, high 4.3s. He was the number 1 wide receiver at Virginia. He can make plays. He can stretch the field. He's not afraid to go across the middle. So he's another guy flying under the radar. And I think we can use him as the big body, 3rd and longs, posting up the smaller corners, trying to get first downs, and using him as another option opposite A.J. Brown and George Kittle in the middle as a red zone threat. So I like Gary Jennings here.
Yeah, Gary Jennings is 6'2", 215 pounds. Just so you know, that's what he is. All right. So what do you want to do here? So we picked in round 4, pick 2 and pick 8. We just took Gary Jennings Jr. and now we're not up till round 5, pick 11.
Just skip all the way through.
All right, skipping to our pick. Got some trades there. I'm not sure if you're interested in those.
Yeah,
All
no
right.
trades. Let's see. Let's see best value.
All right, best value coming up.
So we already took 2 receivers. We don't need another one of those. We have the DN position secure. We haven't taken a look at linebacker so far, but I think we're set. Quan Alexander, I think, was a great pickup. I'm excited to see what Fred Warner can do year 2. Let's see what else we have.
That's where it stopped right there. So
No wide receiver. The running backs, I think Justice Hill is gone. There are still some good names here. Karan Higdon, Miles Gaskin, Travion Williams. Go back up. So I think with this pick, since it is the 5th round, a pick that we acquired, I think we look for either rotational players or backup guys. We look for depth. And I think with all the attention that we focused on defense and the skill positions, let's see what the best available is for offensive tackle and then offensive guard, and then we'll make our pick from that. I think we just need to add some depth there. I think we're set. Joe Staley. Did you get to see any of the press conferences that came out earlier today?
Yeah. How Joe Staley was saying he'd like to be here, actually continue playing longer, and wants to basically stay with the 49ers. And then John Lynch quoted that as well in his thing, saying we'd love to have Joe Staley here to finish out his career.
Absolutely. And then another thing that he said was, this is the first time in a while that all 5 offensive linemen are coming back. So the same group that started last year will be the same group that started this year.
Yep.
Daly, Tomlinson, McGlinchey, Mike Person, and who's the center? I'm forgetting names.
Richburg. Weston
Richburg. So all 5 guys are coming back. 3rd year in the system for some, 2nd for the others. So I like the level of continuity that brings us.
He also went and said that he's not really where he looks at. Yes, we don't have a round 5 pick this year, but when he thinks of the round 5 pick, he thinks of Laken Tomlinson, and he thinks Laken Tomlinson that pick is a really good pick.
Yeah, that's what John said, and I think that was key that he said that. So let's change position to guard.
All right.
See what guards are there. I don't like any of these tackles.
My co-host Mike, who's normally on the show with me, don't think you have met him yet, but he loves Nate Davis, the offensive guard out of whatchamacallit, but obviously he's not here.
Yeah, he's not here, but there is a guy I do see here, and I think we stay local. I think we take the Stanford kid. We draft Nate Herbig, offensive guard, Stanford.
Final answer.
Final answer.
All right. That's going to complete round 5 for us. We don't pick again until round 6, pick 3. What are your choices here?
Let's go ahead and skip. I don't think we possibly might make trades realistically, but I don't see any reason to make trades this late in the game.
Yeah, they're only worth like 100 points or something. So, all right. So we are on the clock at round 6, pick 3. You got some offers on the board for 2 7th-round picks and drop 4 picks from Detroit, or drop 13 picks and pick up an extra 26 pick in 6.
Yeah, no trades. Let's see what we have at linebacker. They have that lit up in green, outside linebacker. So we could use depth. Also, this could be a guy who provides some assistance on special teams. Okay, this is a tough one because I see 3 names that I like, 3 names that I've studied. Khalil Hodge is here, linebacker from Buffalo. I think he can be special. Obviously, he's going to have to make a team through special teams, but I think he has the work ethic and he has the skill set to make an impact on a team. Joe Giles Harris, linebacker out of Duke. I like his fluidity. I like his movement. I like his how he operates in space. And then we have Dakota Allen. Dakota Allen from Last Chance U fame. Was at Texas Tech. Got into a little bit of trouble with some knuckleheads. Did something he had no business doing. Went to Last Chance U. Got it right. And then he got offered to come back to Texas Tech, and he finished out his career there. He's somebody I think who fits in our system because of what he can do in space, his athleticism, his coverage skills from the linebacker position. Knowing what I know about the kid from watching the show and hearing him talk, I think he has a new perspective on life and on the game of football. After this whole incident, I think the incident humbled him. I think he realized how quick something like the sport of football, a game that he loves to play, can be taken away from him. As a Christian, someone who believes in God, knowing that, after this incident, he did give his life to Christ, and he's following that path. I think I'm biased to that as well. So in the spirit of that, in the spirit of what I know of the kid and what he can bring to us on special teams, and if we need spot duty as a linebacker who can come in on 3rd downs and give us somebody who is not a liability in coverage, who can cover backs and who can cover tight ends. And if we can get him in the 6th round, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's go Dakota Allen, outside linebacker, Texas Tech.
All righty. Dakota Allen getting his shot in the NFL after being on Last Chance U and going back to Texas Tech. All right, so now we don't pick again until our last pick, round 6, pick 39, which was a compensatory pick. And you just want me to skip right to that?
Skip right to that, and let's go best available and see what's still left on the board.
I'm kind of interested to see what you do here. Wow, that's the first time I've seen Jesse Burkett come off, actually in a draft. All right, best value remaining. Have you watched any of Porter Gustin? Have you watched any of his tape?
No.
Take a look at him, see what you think, and let me know.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh. Jalen Hurd is here.
Yep, and probably Keelan Doss too. Yep, Keelan Doss is there too.
Keelan Doss is here. Well. So I see a lot of names that I like. Obviously, I wouldn't go wide receiver because we already took 2. But Jalen Hurd is interesting. Obviously, his career in Tennessee has been well publicized. He was a big back at 6'5". He could do it all. But he decided that he wanted to play the sport long term. And he felt that, switching from running back to wide receiver would ultimately be in his best interest. He did have a total transformation of his body to get to wide receiver shape. So I honestly wish him the best. I hope it works out for him. Off of the wide receiver position, I do see 2 corners. There was Blaze Brown up top, and then I see Kendall Sheffield here from Ohio State University. We could go, D-line depth if we want. I see Max Crosby from Eastern Michigan. I actually watched Max Crosby's highlight tape, and I like the kid. I like his tenacity. I like his motor. So he's a guy we'll be looking at. Is there anybody else down there?
Let's see.
Okay, Terry Goodwin. Okay, I think I know where I want to go. I don't know why he's still on the board this late. It may be due to his size. It may be due to his production. But I know Ohio State turns out a lot of good professionals, whether they're superstars or whether they're just solid role players. I think somebody like Kendall Sheffield Jr. we can bring in. He can help us out on special teams, and we can slot him in that slot position, that slot corner. Give what's his name?
Jaquan Williams.
Yes, give Quan some competition in that slot position. So we went 2 wide receivers. Let's go 2 corners. Let's go a boundary guy. Let's go a slot guy. Give us Kendall Sheffield Jr.
Final answer.
From Ohio State. Final answer.
All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to complete the draft, and obviously we're going to look at this shitty grading system they have. Because, all right, not bad. They gave you a B-. All right, so guys,
my first 4 picks were A+, AA, A+. I got 2 B+, a B, and then my last pick, which is an A+, because Kendall Sheffield shouldn't have been on the board. How is that a B-, guys? First
Marcus,
pick.
I literally had all A's and A+ across my board, and they gave me a C.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know what their grading system is on or what this engine does. But if this is our draft class, I'm ecstatic. If this is our draft class with these names on the list, I am flipping out. Because I mean, naturally I'm biased, but I love all the guys we picked. Obviously, we get Nick Bosa, which he might be a once in a generation type guy. Everybody's saying that he has a higher ceiling than his brother. He can be better than his brother. Then we get somebody like A.J. Brown. Like I said, he got Jerry Rice's endorsement. We need another receiver, a go-to guy for Jimmy G. We get Jaquan Williams, somebody who can come in and who can learn from Richard Sherman how to be that big boundary corner. We get somebody like Jaquan Johnson. If we do have injuries, if Jaquiski Tartt gets hurt, if Jimmy Ward gets hurt, if Adrian Colbert gets hurt, we still have bodies. We have that depth. Like Jaquan Williams. We add Gary Jennings Jr., another wide receiver who can help us on the edge. We add Nate Herbig. If there are any injuries to our O-line, we can slot him in at either one of the guard position. That gives us depth. Dakota Allen gives us depth, behind Quan Alexander, behind Fred Warner, behind Lee. We have, somebody who else can come in who can give us, somebody in space who's good in coverage, covering tight ends and backs. And then we get Kendall Sheffield. And again, another depth piece, somebody who can help us out at that slot corner. He has the speed, he can shadow those little guys. And I like his instincts. And again, he's an Ohio State kid. So he's going to come in ready to play. So if this is our draft class for 2019, I'm ecstatic. So I'm upset about that B-.
Yeah, well, I don't put too much into the draft. You hit positions in need. You took 2 corners. You took a strong safety, which obviously can, a safety is a safety. Obviously a little bit more bulky in the strongs than they are at free, but just because they're playing in the box. You took 2 wide receivers. You got, personally, in my opinion, A.J. Brown is probably the most well-rounded receiver in this draft. You went after edge rusher. Obviously, now we have 2 edge rushers in D Ford and Nick Bosa on the other side. Kendall Sheffield, another corner late. Dakota Allen, you hit the outside linebacker, which we're going to probably need a Sam. I truly believe. I don't think Malcolm Smith will be playing there. So it really depends on the down and distance and things like that. I think we're going to need a Sam. But other than that, I mean, I think you hit all the positions that we need. You took 2 corners, a safety, 2 wide receivers, an outside linebacker. You even took an offensive guard, no offensive tackle, and that's how I've been drafting because I think we can get Joe Staley's replacement next year. I don't think we need to necessarily make that pick this year as an offensive tackle. Now, if you can get a guy who can play guard and tackle, I'm okay with that just because it gives us more depth. But people also keep forgetting that we have Joshua Garnett here. So if something does – I know a lot of people aren't big on him, but I still think he has a shot to start. It's just a matter of getting his head right. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, but what is it going to take for him to get his head right?
Well, he started playing better last year, and then he just that toe injury just screwed him up. But if you watch, me and Mike were sitting there watching a couple games, and we're watching, and everything they weren't running to his side. But when you watch his all 22, he's opening holes when he's playing like there's no tomorrow. Like he literally was playing well, and obviously, Person was playing well. Once Person went down, Garnett came in and he ended up going down, and then that's when McGlinchey slid over and played over there. If you remember that game, and
Yeah,
then
I remember.
So, I mean, I can't count the kid out yet because he does have a a good skill set on his hand. I think the thing that he was lacking with in the beginning was getting to that second level. Wasn't used to that, but then I did see that adjustment from him on the all 22. And I can't count him out yet. As much as I hate to agree with my partner Mike all the time, he talks about him a lot. And then I finally watched, and I think I have to agree with him a little bit on this pick with the offensive guard, meaning that Joshua Garnett can still play, and a lot of people are counting him out. And it's just like the same thing with Adrian Colbert. People are counting him out. Same thing with Akello because of the signing with Jason Verrett. There's a lot of these players, and I like one thing that John Lynch said today. We have 184 people that we like on our board. This year is not going to be. It's gonna be hard for these rookies to make this team.
Absolutely.
So, which I like because that shows that they're confident in their ability to draft. They're confident in the rookies that they have. And, there were a couple games last year that, we lost, but we were also playing with, third and fourth string guys, a practice squad quarterback. A lot of these guys that came up to play last year were practice squad guys. So I don't think we're as far off as people think. I think, like I said, probably a good safety play because obviously we were down 2 guys last year. Good linebacker play with the addition of Quan Alexander, somebody who's a ball hawk, who's ball hungry. We need more turnovers this year. And then obviously we address pass rush with D Ford. And if we can address pass rush again, that makes our line that much better. I don't think we're that far off on defense. We were 13th in the league last year in defense, and I think 3rd in rush defense. So, we weren't as bad as people think, and our offense was really good. We scored 24.6 points a game. So, I just hope it all comes together this year.
Absolutely. Well, if he watches the podcast, which I hope he does, which I hope most of the Niners guys do, listen, I love all you guys. Don't hate me. But if I could say one thing to Joshua Garnett is, I want to see that dog. Like, I want to see that fight. Like, you see him in interviews, and he is kind of soft-spoken. He's kind of mild-mannered. He does always, have a smile, and he's a happy-go-lucky guy, and that's great. But on the field, I want to see that dog. I want to see a old school road grader. I want to see like Larry Allen, like somebody who's just like nasty. Because that's what we need. We have Joe Staley, he's Joe Staley's probably the funniest guy on the team. But when he's on the field, he plays with a certain tenacity. We see that from Mike McGlinchey. We see that from Lincoln Tomlinson. I think we did see that from Josh Garnett, which is why we drafted him. We saw that when he was at Stanford. But I need to see some more of that. I want to see that tenacity. And if you still got it, if you can open up holes for our running back core, and if you can keep Jimmy from off his back, and you can put somebody's face in the dirt and then step on the back of their helmet, until they face mask crack. I want to see that. I want to see it.
I totally agree with you. And
prove me wrong, Josh Garnett. Prove me wrong. I seen him on the off season. He posted something on Instagram about playing Fortnite, and I think I commented. I was like, "You need to be in the gym."
Yeah, he did actually drop some weight this year. He looks like he's in better shape.
He dropped weight last year too, because that was a requirement from Kyle Shanahan. That's why they kept him out. The before last, he did drop weight, so he has it. He has, obviously he's a Stanford kid. Not putting him on a pedestal or taking away from any other colleges, but he's a Stanford guy, so he has the acumen. He has the will, and he has the want to. Obviously he's coach said he needed to drop weight. He did everything that he needed to do. He worked his butt off to drop weight. But I want to see that translate on the field. I want to see you pick somebody up and put their face in the dirt and then laugh at them when you do it again on the next play, and then laugh at him when you do it again on the next play. And in the fourth quarter, when he's tired, when he's huffing and puffing, when he's looking at you like, yo, how am I going to get past this guy? You look at him in his face and tell him, you're not going to get past me because I'm going to put you in the dirt one more time and close this game out. That's what I want to see from him. So if he got it in him, I hope he can pull it up.
Yeah, and I'm totally with you. We need dogs. We literally need dogs, and we need playmakers, and that's why I love the addition of D Ford. I love, with the strip sacks, Quan Alexander with a ton of fumbles, interceptions. That's what I need to see. We need to turn the ball over. We need to see that dog and that tenacity out of these players as to where, yeah, you're going to come in here, but we're not to be reckoned with. And, to keep it in simple and calm terms because of age limits of watching the show, but we need that dog. We need that. I'm going to pound you into the ground all night long. And we need to get back to that mentality. We definitely do.
I want people to, they don't have to fear us, but I want them to say, oh, we got to play those guys. Like, that's what I want. I want them to have that almost not fear, but have that like defeated mentality. Like, this is going to be a fight. I think a lot of teams over the past couple of years, especially, again, not to, denigrate anybody, but, when we had Chip Kelly as head coach and when we had Jim Tomsula, I think a lot of teams, they saw us on the schedule and their face lit up, or they looked at it as, oh, this is a working bye week. There was no fear, coming to play us or us going to play them. There was no like, oh, this is going to be a fight. There was like, oh, this is cake. We got this.
Well,
especially when we couldn't stop the run.
You seen it when Jacksonville said,
"Oh yeah,
this is a hat game."
Oh yeah,
this is a hat game. So, and then we went in there, and that's what we need to do, and that's what we need to do because the players took that personal and said, "Oh, this is a hat game," and then we went out there and we put an ass whooping on them, and that's what we definitely need back, and that's a perfect example of what you're talking about is where it's not that people that they're afraid of us. It's just like, oh, it's just another game. They're only a 2-win team, blah, blah, blah. Oh, their last year they were only a 4-win team. Well, what happens if we start the season off 4-0 this year? Then you're like, oh, okay, excuse me, they're back. Like,
right.
We got to prepare right for them because if you don't prepare right, which is fine. I like them thinking we're an underdog because if you don't prepare for John Lynch completely or Kyle Shanahan completely, he's going to eat you up one way or another.
Absolutely. But there's those certain teams in the league where it's going to be a fight. Like, there's certain teams, they just have that stigma about them. Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Maybe not Pittsburgh anymore, but Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Seattle. Unfortunately, there's certain teams where this is going to be a fight. When you see New England on your schedule, when you see the Chargers on your schedule, there are certain teams where okay, maybe last week was a piece of cake game. Maybe I could skate by, on this game. But I want us to have that mentality. Oh, we got the Niners on our schedule this week. This is going to be a tough one because it's already in their mind that I have to show up for this game because for us to be the best, I want everybody's best punch every week because that builds that championship pedigree. I want everybody's best punch every week, but then I want them also to, that's when you start getting people make mistakes because they're not playing free. They're not just out there having fun, just playing. They're thinking about what's happening. They're thinking about not making a mistake. They're thinking about not messing up an assignment because it's a tough game. And that's how you get those one or two plays that swing momentums in the game. Like you said, we need to have that.
That's exactly what happened in Jacksonville. We came in and smacked them, and then they're fighting on the sidelines. They're like, wait, what is going on? We turned a championship team into hating each other on the sidelines. And that's what we need every week. It's to not be disrespected, and you're going to come in here and play. And I think this year the Seattle games are going to be a lot different.
Most definitely.
And obviously because you've seen how much Richard Sherman wanted that one last year. Just think about how he's going to be going into this healthy. They were playing a team that was not healthy at all when they destroyed us. We started getting some players back the second time we played them, and obviously we played them tight. We, 26-23 for the first time. But I think I have us on the schedule this year. I think I have us losing to Seattle the first game at home, but the Week 17 game, I think I have us beating them as of right now, pre-draft. We did like a little schedule release or whatever, and we just talked about each team and stuff like that. So real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. But what did you think of the schedule so far, pre-draft?
Starting on the road twice is tough, and they're both East Coast games. Now, granted, I think the positive in both of those games are there teams who didn't have winning records, and they're teams with new coaching staffs. With new coaching staff, you have getting adjusted to the new culture, getting adjusted to the new philosophy, the new scheme. With that comes mistakes. With that comes, not knowing all of your assignments. With that comes not having the full playbook at your disposal because you're still learning it. So I think if anything, that balances the fact that we're going to be on the road and we're going to be on the East Coast. Having our bye week 4, that's tough because that's early in the season. And then that means we have to go the next 13 weeks just playing ball. So that can wear on us, as the season comes along.
We also get that little short break from that Thursday, and we get 11 days off till the next Monday. So that'll help later in the season.
That will help. And we have the Thanksgiving game this year, right?
No, that was a rumor. So I'll tell you.
Yeah, they rumored it.
So week 1 is at Tampa Bay. Week 2, Cincinnati, which I'm thankful that they're both not 10 a.m. starts. The Buccaneers is a 1:25, so 4:25 Eastern time. Cincinnati Bengals is a 10 a.m. West Coast time, 1 o'clock.
That is 1 o'clock.
Then the home opener is against Pittsburgh, week 3. Week 4 is the bye. Then we play Sunday. Then we play the following Monday. So we get against the Browns at home. Then we play the Rams, week 6, at the Rams. Then we're at Washington. So then we go from the West Coast to the East Coast to Washington, Carolina. Then we go back home after Washington. We go back home to play Carolina, and then we go to Arizona. Then Seahawks at home. Cardinals away, or at home, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Cardinals home.
Yeah, then the Packers, then the Ravens, the Saints, the Falcons, the Rams, the Seahawks.
All right, so I pulled it up too. So if we can start strong with 2 wins against Tampa and Cincinnati, that'll be good. And then I see a key stretch. Although it's a away game and it's on the East, the Redskins is a game that we have to have. Carolina is going to be tough, but with Carolina, they're always up and down. So you don't know what you're going to get with them. That stretch of 3 NFC West Division games at Arizona, home against Seattle, and then home against Arizona, that is going to be a key 3-game stretch for our season. If we can somehow swing 3-0 or 2-1 here, and if we can get a win at the Redskins and Panthers, so if we can come out of that 5 games at 5-0, 4-1, and that stretch between October and November, I think that'll be crucial for us. Because after that stretch, that's when we get Aaron Rodgers. We get Baltimore away in December, so it's going to be cold. They have an outdoor stadium, and they have a running quarterback. And then we have Saints and Falcons. Saints were in the NFC Championship game. They have Drew Brees, Sean Payton. They're always a dangerous team. Falcons are a dangerous team. They have a quarterback. They have Julio Jones. They have pieces on defense coming back from injury. And then the last 2 games of the year are home against the Rams. And
Which
then,
I think Grady Jarrett just signed a 1-year deal there too.
To where stay in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay, and see, so that's huge for them because they thought that they might lose him. So I think that stretch between October and November, between Redskins and the second game at the Cardinals, that's going to be a crucial stretch for our season as far as making the playoffs, because that back end with Packers, Ravens, Saints, Falcons, Rams, 5 weeks in a row, that last half of this season, that last third of the season, I should say, is really tough.
You got to definitely start off strong in the schedule.
Yeah, definitely start strong and then build momentum in the middle, and then somehow squeeze 3 of the last 6.
Yeah, it'll be tight.
It's going to be, especially that, again, like I said, that last third of the season. That's going to be really, really tight. But I'm excited. I'm excited. Again, like I said, I want to play the best. I want everybody's best shot because that's going to build our character. That's going to build, who we are as a championship caliber football team. So I don't want people to say, oh, the Niners had an easy schedule. That's the only reason they made it into the playoffs. Their schedule was cake. I want to see what we can do against the league's best. And if the schedule is part of that, then so be it. We'll take it 1 week at a time and fight.
It's crazy because we have the 11th toughest schedule in the entire NFL, and the New England Patriots have the 31st toughest schedule. It's because of the division. It's really because of the division.
That's what they said. Colin Cowherd was saying, he was like, now when you put it in the context, when you have the Bills twice, when you have the Jets twice, and you have the Dolphins twice, all who didn't make the playoffs, your strength of schedule is not going to be as tough as the AFC North that has Baltimore and Pittsburgh, and now Cleveland's good. So
that's going to be the division to watch out for.
Oh, I'm outside of what we do. I'm excited to see that division because obviously you have no Antonio Brown, no Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh, but they still have Ben, they still have Schuster, they still have a solid defense, they still have a great coach in Mike Tomlin. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to plummet. Then you have Baltimore. Then you have obviously Cleveland. I'm just excited to see. I like Baker Mayfield, but I'm just more excited to see what Odell and Jarvis Landry do together. When you talk about like building a brotherhood in this game of football with your teammates, I don't think any 2 people epitomize that more than those 2. Like, I really think like they might really actually be brothers somewhere down the line. That's how strong their bond is. So seeing them play together and seeing how much joy and how focused they keep each other, I think that's going to be just exciting for me as a football fan to watch and see what they can do together as a tandem because, Jarvis in Miami was a baller, and we know what Odell is. Now having them together, you can't double one because if you double one, the other one's going to be open. And if you somehow try to double both of them, they're going to kill you with Antonio Callaway. They're going to kill you with David Njoku. And now they got the running backs and Nick Chubb. And then you add Kareem Hunt into that mix. Listen, Cleveland might be scary. And we have them on the schedule. So,
prime time game too, baby.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be really
Prime
good.
time game. All right, guys. Well, we've talked a little bit of football. We've talked about the schedule. We did a mock draft. Make sure you guys like and give us a grade. What you think that Marcus's grade was in our comment section. Once you go back, and if you're not watching this live now, just go back and do that comment. And like I said, also make sure you go check out our latest video right before this. It's the new giveaway video. I have 2 tickets to the Pier 35 49ers draft party. You have to watch that video, follow the instructions for a chance to win. You only have till tomorrow. I'm going to be announcing the winner tomorrow. First one who sends me the correct answer, which I have not gotten any of the correct answers yet. So make sure you send me the correct answer, and you will be able to win those. But you have to be able to go. I'm not flying you out there. You have to be in the Bay Area of some sorts. LA, San Francisco, San Jose, Santa Clara, wherever you're at. I'm not flying you out there. And I'm not paying for gas for your vehicle either. So, guys, like I said, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Check us out on all of our social media avenues, Twitter and Snapchat, nothing but 9, the number 9, ERS. Facebook and Instagram, nothing but Niners, all spelled out. World Wide Web, nothingbutniners.com. And all of our podcasts, SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play. We're all over the place, guys. And make sure you check out our live stream on we'll be back tomorrow for a show as well, me and Mike. And then also Thursday night, guys, live stream for the draft. Watch our reactions. Join in with us. Call in. Let us know how you feel about your draft or who we pick and things like that. So we will be live all night long with a few of us here. Marcus, you got anything else to say, bud?
Nothing, man. I appreciate you having me on. This is something I wanted to do for a long time. I hope to be on again, sharing our thoughts. Thursday night of the draft, unfortunately, I have to work, so I won't be able to enjoy the festivities with you guys, but I will be watching to see what we do in the first round. But Friday night, I'm off, so I might connect with you guys then as we watch the second night of the draft, see who we add to this great team going into the 2019 season. So again, thanks for having me on. Glad I was able to do this, and it's faithful as always.
You guys heard it there, man. And yeah, Marcus will definitely get you on the show again. And guys, man, that's it for me for the night. Above all else, stay faithful. We out of here. Peace.